South Africa is hosting the 15th BRICS summit in Johannesburg next week. The gathering is focusing on a number of key international issues, including expansion of the bloc. South Africa benefited from BRICS expansion in 2009.
The current geopolitical environment has driven renewed interest in BRICS membership. Most countries in the global south are looking for alternatives in the multipolar world. About 20 countries have expressed their desire to join BRICS.
Last year, under China's chairship, at the foreign ministers' meeting in May last year, the foreign ministers raised the issue of expansion and they had an initial discussion. And at the summit in June last year, the virtual summit under China's chairship, paragraph 73 of the Beijing Declaration specifically speaks to expansion, where it states we should start discussions around BRICS expansion and we should look at developing guiding principles, standard criteria and procedure for expansion through the Sherpa track.
South Africa says most countries are keen to be part of BRICS as the bloc seeks to position itself as a champion of the interest of the global south. Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Cuba, the United Arab Emirates, Senegal, Thailand and Ethiopia are some of the countries that want to join BRICS. Iranian top diplomats highlights why they should be part of the bloc. The Islamic Republic of Iran is a reliable and effective partner in bilateral and multilateral cooperation due to its unique and geographical location. It has massive energy sources, especially petroleum and gas, and it has cheap and short transportation channel. The country is young, skilled and professional workers, and new and innovative scientific and technological resources.
شریکی مطمئن و مؤثر در همکاری‌های دو و چند جانبه میباشد.
BRICS member Russia has also aligned itself with its close ally Iran, saying they'll make a very good contribution within the bloc.
No country that eventually may expect decisions in favor of itself to become member of BRICS, no country follows those illegitimate and wrong policies of imposing unilateral sanctions on others. And since Iran, of course, itself is a target for those illegitimate sanctions for decades now.
South African International Relations and Cooperation Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor says BRICS is facing important opportunities for development and growth. Pretoria is eager to work with BRICS members to ensure that the summit delivers fruitful outcomes. Kylie Kumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
So as thousands of delegates and their support teams head to Johannesburg for the BRICS summit, the province is determined to roll out a golden carpet to business, tourism, trade and investment activities. Barba Gaoganediwe, Gauteng Tourism Authority Destination Marketing and Communication Head, joins us now. Barba, good evening to you and welcome. This is a big occasion. Take us behind the scenes.
A very big occasion indeed. This one warrants more than a red carpet, Iman and your viewers. It needs a golden carpet. This golden carpet is underpinned by the tenacity and the strength of our more than 15 million champion hosts in the golden province of Gauteng. So our premier as our number one host and MEC Motara have been part of the preceding activities. It's all hand on deck. We are looking forward to a seamless BRICS summit that is synonymous with our stature of hosting quality global business events in our destination. This is underpinned by our magnificent infrastructure, our hosting capabilities, but also the role we play in not just South-South relations, but in becoming a destination where major global decisions are made.
So it's not just about wooing foreign tourists and people who would look to South Africa as places where they could host similar big events. It's also about ensuring areas of the African market that are still untapped. So you've got to be incredibly targeted about how you go after those, those different kind of streams, interest streams in the tourism economy. What specific outcomes, what specific plans and outcomes do you have in mind, Barba?
We are indeed very targeted. More than 75% of our international arrivals comes from the African continent, as South Africa. And OR Tambo International has always been a hub that plays to those arrivals. So we are very focused in lifting up air access, an issue of logistics and transportation, not just people around, framing our air access capacity, which has severely been damaged by the effects of COVID-19. Part of that work include the recent announcement by South African Airways of the opening up of the Sao Paulo, Johannesburg, and later Cape Town route of South African Airways. That's a very important aspect that helps us not just in tourism, but also moving goods and services and trade. We're also emphasizing on issues around business exchange, corporate incentives program. South Africa and Gauteng in particular, it's a lucrative market for corporate incentives across North and South America. Where corporates now are looking for teams to go out, incentivize them, and we are looking at that as a lucrative market. But we are also a gateway to the rest of the continent. So trading and doing business with South Africa, at the heart of it is an expansion to the rest of the continent. And this bodes well for the visitor economy because it's not just high-level discussions around trade. It's the money that gets deposited into our economy, is the food that is prepared by locals, is the bed that are made up by the people that are employed there. So it's direct jobs that you are realizing from this. It's the cuisines, it's the food that the delegates will be eating, and an open advert opportunity for us to say we are indeed open for business. We mean business with the business of events, but also we are aware of the global happenings and we are volunteering ourselves as the stage for coordination of these activities. So an African visitor, an African trader, an African tourist, an African business person is at the core of what we are doing in the province in using BRICS to leverage our reach to the continent.
It certainly sounds like a massive opportunity to sell a uniquely South African experience and to build on some of the numbers, the improved numbers that we've had recently in terms of South Africa as a tourism destination of choice. I think an impressive 46.5% increase in foreign arrivals, and our African counterparts seem to be leading the pack. You've talked about, and I think it's important, about the players all across the supply service chain who will benefit from this. And when we talk about showcases, Barba, what showcases are you talking about in terms of really attracting tourists and getting them to tell their friends and to come back here?
It's at the heart of our strategy to use our business events to showcase our leisure offerings. So Gauteng is a pleasure destination. So it's a combination of our business prowess with our breathtaking leisure activities. No other place in the world has a space as sacred as the cradle of humankind World Heritage Site. This is an opportunity for all peoples that will be coming for the BRICS Summit to pay homage and thank our common human ancestry for their protection during 3 years of COVID. So that is one of the major offerings that we'll be putting up. But our program will not be successful if the benefits are not directly in our townships, in our informal settlements, and in our hostels. The tuk-tuk that takes you out of Sentin for an Alex tour at the Mandela Museum in Alex, the tour operator that takes you to our breathtaking cuisine of a biryani in Fortsburg, or those that are looking for our rooftop experiences, that represent a direct benefit out of the sector. So it's not just conference rooms and delegates that are at the core. It's real benefit that is in there. And this augur well for us to continue to host other global mega events where the people are at the center of the beneficiation.
Barba, final one and quickly, two big things: worries about load shedding, the contingencies for businesses in the network, and safety.
Absolutely. Hence, the 6,000 crime prevention wardens that have been ushered into our communities, not just to protect tourists, but to protect all of us as residents. The contingency around the power supply and the announcement made by the electricity ministers reassures that energy securities will also be at the core. It will not just the provision of energy security, but using the BRICS platform to look at cooperation around a long, sustainable way of addressing issues, our energy insecurity, including water insecurities in some of parts of our life. So we're using this platform to highlight our challenges, mobilize partners, but equally get the benefits to be reaped by locals.
Barba Gaoganediwe, thank you for talking to us tonight. Gauteng Tourism Authority Destination Marketing and Communications Head, as we head into BRICS Week next week.